Hello and welcome to the 99th episode of the Wright Experience. I'm Dr. William T. Wright Jr., the founder and host of this show. And I'm absolutely excited to have the opportunity to talk to each of you tonight. I want to start off this show and this episode by simply taking my privilege as the founder of the show to say thank you. Thank you to those of you who have been a part of this Wright Experience podcast that we've been trying to do now for about 2.5 years. I'm proud of the work that we've done, and certainly we've had some amazing guests, and we'll continue to try to bring you the very best that we've done. I also would like to apologize for some lapses in presenting guests that we've had over the past few months. We're going to try to get back more regular to doing so. And tonight, before this episode is over, I'm going to talk to you about a very exciting 100th episode that will be coming up next week. I want to take the opportunity to talk a little bit about and really just kind of be thankful for some of the things that have happened to me across this amazing career that I have had as an educational leader, starting back to what is now going to be 26 years ago. Started my career in 1998, actually 25 years ago, almost to the date, as a business teacher at George R. Edwards Junior High School, it was called at that time, in Rocky Mount, North Carolina. From there to my time as an assistant principal at Red Oak Middle School in northwestern Nash County, North Carolina, to going back to George R. Edwards as an assistant principal for a brief stint, to my time in Edgecombe County, North Carolina, both as an assistant principal at Southwest Edgecombe High School, and then my first principalship was at South Edgecombe Middle School in Pine Tops, North Carolina. Served there for 3 years, and then on to Wake County, the largest school district in the state of North Carolina. Served there as a seventh grade administrator for some time, and then on to Harnett County, North Carolina, where I served as principal of Western Harnett High School for 3 years, and then to the district office. My first district office job was also in Harnett County, North Carolina, where I served as an assistant superintendent of auxiliary services for 2 years. And then I began this journey that I'm on now as a school superintendent. In my third superintendency now, two of them have been in South Carolina, one in North Carolina. Of course, my first superintendency was in McCormick County, South Carolina. I was there for 2.5 years. And then 6.5 years I spent at Hertford County, North Carolina. And then fortunate enough to start July 1st of 2022 in my current post as superintendent of Sumter School District in South Carolina, which serves about 15,000 students in 27 schools. And certainly that experience has been rewarding for me. And hopefully on each stop, we've been able to be value added to the communities in which we've served. As I said earlier, I'm going into my 26th year now in public school education, and my 11th year serving as superintendent. And this show also has been a branch off of just some of the experiences that I've had over the years, had the opportunity to build this brand, this podcast, because I still believe in the core of my being that education at its core is the most important profession there is. Now, some people would argue medicine. Certainly not going to debate that. Medicine is very important. Um, Being a member of the ministry certainly is important. But education prepares us for all walks of life. And so I ask that you continue to lift up your educators, because education is getting more difficult. However, it is also becoming more needed, because we all know that undereducated people or uneducated people simply have less opportunities. And this is not about formal education and getting a 4-year degree or an 8-year degree or what have you, but it's about being educated to do the work that that you are called or led to do. And so, as we are all trying to continue to make sure that we are educating our future, and I would argue even our present, we just ask that you hang in there with us and encourage educators every opportunity that you get to do so. And so, to my fellow educators, I like to always talk about and offer some words of wisdom. Um, First of all, we are in between mode, I call it. You know, we have the opportunity to. Most folks think that we're taking a break. I'd like to refer to this time as um, one that I've coined the 3 R's time. We do some resting, so rest is one of those. But more importantly, this opportunity and this time should be taken to rejuvenate ourselves. 'Cause very shortly, we're going to be walking back into those school buildings, ready to serve children and grow another set of lives for another year. And then, of course, that third R is get ready. We got to be ready for the work that awaits us. And we have to be ready to continue to increase knowledge for all those that we serve. The more I spend time working and serving as a leader, I also understand that it is my duty and part of what I am sent to do in this work. It is my job to mentor and prepare the next generation. Now, you might argue that the classroom teacher does that every day in the classroom, and we certainly want and encourage them to do so. But as an educational leader at what many call the highest level, it is also my job to mentor and prepare those folks that will assume leadership positions in the school level as well as the district office level. And if you're working as a leader, as an educational leader, while you're busy doing the work that you do every day, please keep that in mind. We have to continue to mentor and prepare the next generation because without those preparations, we may fall into a mode where we're perishing. I also have a couple of B's that I would like to leave with you, and I don't mean those kind of B's. I mean some B words that will be appropriate for certainly this podcast and this channel. First and foremost, as educators, as leaders, as educational leaders, we must make sure that we continue to believe. We can't do this work without believing in ourselves and believing in our ability to mold and shape and impact lives for the future. And there are many things, whether it's political influences, whether it is conditions in which we work, whether it is trips to the grocery store where people are downgrading our business, or even sometimes, ladies and gentlemen, the paychecks that we receive. There are many things that can keep us from having that positive outlook on the work that we do. But I would ask that we focus on the things that really matter. Take an opportunity, if you haven't done so this summer, to find a young person, maybe one that you've impacted, but also someone that is in a different classroom or in a different school or even in a different state, and just engage in a conversation with them about school and what they're learning and who their teacher is and what they want to do and be in life. I promise you, if you do that, it will rejuvenate your mental mindset in terms of moving forward with that belief. Because without that booster shot of belief, we're not going to be as effective. And our children, our students, are depending on us to believe again. The second B is actually a BI. I want us to become intentional, not just about inspecting the what's. We've talked about that for years. I'm going to inspect and expect, and all of that is fine. We need to continue to inspect and expect things. But I want us to also focus on inspecting and being intentional about inspecting the why. Understand not just our why, although we need to do that as well, but we need to make sure that we're inspecting why people gravitate to the work that we do, why people need us to be on our A game, why people need us to not give up and to leave the profession. Because short of us inspecting and being intentional about that why, our profession seeks to perish. And so we have to continue to challenge ourselves with being intentional about inspecting the why, asking questions about why a child is not as focused as they need to be today. Not being critical, but being helpful. Asking ourselves why people are leaving our profession. And then not just complaining about it, but coming up with solutions to make it better. Asking ourselves why there are so many influences that are not student-centered in our current profession. And then figuring out a way to make sure that we, as educational leaders, take every opportunity that we have to refocus people on the fact that it is about children and it is about the people that serve children. And it's not about self-interest. And it's not about these gains that we're looking that have nothing to do with moving children forward. We've got to inspect that why, because inspecting that why and expecting that the why is solved, if you will, to use an old math term, is critical to us moving forward. I'm absolutely excited. I'm not tired. I'm absolutely excited about this future work that we're going to do as leaders. Um, I'm speaking of the education profession, but we need leaders across all disciplines. I just want to make sure that we don't forget that we also need good, strong folks in our classrooms and in the educational leadership positions. And let me tell you what your educational classroom teacher, everyday classroom teacher, your bus driver, your building services worker, your cafeteria person. Let me tell you what we need right behind probably being adequately compensated. We need encouragement. We need understanding. We need support. And guess what? We need what everyone in this country needs, to just know that people care about what we dedicate our lives to. And I ask that you join me in making sure that we do that. In closing, I would like to take the opportunity to invite you, if you have not done so already, to please make sure that you are signed up for our two various media of broadcasting these podcasts. We're going to ramp this thing up and continue to go. We have, of course, a Facebook Live page that is titled at WRIGHT EXP. If you will go into the Facebook and type that in, it will link you to the Wright Experience Facebook page, at which time you can become a part of that family. And I look forward, if you have not done so already, that you will do that. I'm also listed on YouTube at Dr. William Wright Jr. If you type my name in, not my nickname, but my name, you will get the page popped up, and you can also like and subscribe that page. And I certainly would love to have each of you do that. We're trying to grow both media, of course, and and get those audiences larger so that we can continue to do this work. And please hang in here with us. We're going to continue to make this podcast and this work that we're doing even better. And now, lastly, I want to talk about next week's episode. It's a milestone for this podcast. Next week's episode will be the 100th episode. It's almost surreal to even say that. And I've secured an amazing guest. Kind of cheated a little bit, went to the family, but also I'm certainly proud of this gentleman and his accomplishments, and we're looking forward to interviewing and spending time with him next week. So my guest next week is going to be Dr. Luther Barnes, who is a world-renowned gospel recording artist. Dr. Barnes is also a pastor of a church, amongst other things. But some of you may or may not know that Dr. Barnes actually, many, many years ago, 30 plus years ago, began his career as a music teacher in a high school in Northern Nash High School, actually, in Rocky Mount, North Carolina. So we're certainly looking forward to spending some time with him next week. That is going to be at 7:00 p.m. next week. That'll be July 13th, 2023, 7:00 p.m. And we're going to look forward to spending some time with him and talking with him and having some great dialogue, as well as others moving forward. I'm absolutely thankful for those of you taking the time out to spend some time with me. This country boy that grew up in the northern part of Nash County, North Carolina. I am thankful for having this platform and this media, and thankful for you. And to the Wright Experience audience, good evening.